Hello everyone, welcome back. It's me, Chrono JJ, yet again. The Champions League playoffs. It's the semifinals now. We've done all the quarterfinals, ready to move on. Kimo versus Shelty. It's the first of the two semifinals. The second has not yet been played. I hope to cast that live on Sunday, which is tomorrow for those of you watching later, which is May 23rd for those of you watching later. But today we're looking at Kimo versus Shelty on a set of fine maps, a lot of deserty looking maps, and then one Midgard. But yeah, Kimo, he advanced to the semifinals after beating Nyan Racing Cat 3-0 in the previous round. Broke out some Hades. Could we see more Hades? Shelty defeated the Rapple 3-1. Lost one game to a Ragnarok, won the other three. A lot of set. Are we going to see set versus Hades? I'm looking at Watering Hole as probably a set map. Blue Lagoon could be set. In fact, Shelty played on Blue Lagoon the previous series and went set on Blue Lagoon. This should be close. Shelty always plays tough. He didn't do so red hot last season in the playoffs. Lost in the first round. Kimo, of course, is our defending champion. Why did Kimo play one less match? Because Kimo and Scotty were never able to schedule, so we just kind of did that as a draw because there just wasn't a whole lot of scheduling. And since it didn't really affect who was going to be in the playoffs, both of them were in regardless. So then we just kind of decided rather than try to make them play after the regular season was over and delay everything, we're like, yeah, we'll just do it a draw. Kimo will get second over Skatey because Kimo won last season, so he can be a seed higher into the playoffs. So that's why our bracket. I didn't update it yet. I'm going to update it for the next stream. But yeah, we're looking at Shelty right here, Kimo right here. The winner moves on to the finals. The loser does have a third place match, and again, there is a total prize pool of $1,000. So that's cool. Third and fourth place also get dollars as well, but in the end, it's all for fun and internet ego points. Means a lot. Let's move on to the games before it gets too late. Kimo versus Shelty. Hello, Marcos. Hello, Anto Bout. And a Blossom are ready to get this started. Let's make sure the overlay is looking good. It is. We are ready to go. Champions League semifinals. Spoiler free. Hopefully. Sometimes maybe you don't pay attention to the chat. Sometimes people get a little excited in there. And as usual, I need to figure out where in the world did I put the games. Oh, I know what happens. I didn't put them in this folder yet, I don't think. So hold on. We can go back to the overlay here while I try to figure out where in the world did I save these games to, because I put them somewhere. I just don't remember where. Dang it, where did I put them? Oh, here it is. Okay, I found it. I put it in the wrong folder. Game number 1, Thor versus Hades. Okay, Thor versus Hades on Blue Lagoon. So no set for Shelty, who also is using the internet name I Bring Life. So Hades is our god on the top. It's Kimo in the red color, and down on the bottom left is Shelty. Thor. So I guess Shelty was pulling out the set in these matchups because he felt set. So in the previous matchup, when Shelty played Rapple, Shelty used set on this map. But likely more so because he felt that set did well against Norse, which is what Rapple is playing. Clearly, here, Shelty did not think he would be facing off against Norse, so he switched and went Thor. It's nice to see Thor back in the meta. Thor used to be the primary god of the Norse, being used at high level up through like 2010-ish. And then Loki started taking over, and then really though, Norse has never been at the top level of competitive Age of Mythology. Just always was a way to kind of abuse Norse. If you're Egyptian, you can use Shifting Sands and Locust. If you're Greek, you can kind of just rush the gold mine, and then Thor or any Greek, any Norse is kind of done at that point. But Odin's seen a lot of play recently, and now Thor with some recent buffs is also starting to see a little more play, so that's cool. Blue Lagoon is a newer map, I guess, a newer compared to the original game, which came out in 2003. Blue Lagoon came out probably 2014, 2015, maybe even a little bit after that. But it was pretty well enjoyed by the players, so it was added into the normal map set on Voobly, where we play our original Age of Mythology nowadays. So Blue Lagoon has been around for a while. It's really a pretty simple map. That your average land map. You get a starting pack of giraffe. You then will have an assortment of different hunt. You'll get 4 extra hunt spots, I do believe. And these are the 4. 2 rhino, some gazelle, giraffe and gazelle, 1 rhino. It's kind of a bad hunt spawn there. And then 4 gazelle. And these could all, of course, vary. You know, what actually spawns can vary a little bit. There's certain parameters, but like the 1 rhino, that's pretty small. It could be a lot more than that. You could also see elephants potentially, but we're seeing no elephants in any of the spawns. So, decent hunt. Blue Lagoon is usually decent hunt amounts. The problem, though, is that they almost always spawn forward. Sometimes you'll get a back one, like in a corner. So that makes it tough sometimes to like be able to keep hunting forever, because you know, if the opponent rushes, you might not be able to get on your hunt. Now I will say that Thor versus Hades isn't a matchup I've seen a whole lot, which is cool. Because historically, you never would have seen Thor versus Hades in a semifinals. Like, it just didn't happen. If you played Greek, you were Zeus. And if you played Norse, you lost before you got to the semifinals. So it's nice to see this. This is kind of cool. This is different. Which has kind of been the goal of the custom fan patch that we've been using now for several years. So it's nice to see it paying some dividends here. We're seeing Thor versus Hades in the semifinals, game 1, as we see Ajax coming forward. Probably trying to find the hunt, which now he's maybe found it. And we have Freya. Man, I got an itch. I don't want to scratch my nose on stream. It's so unprofessional, but my nose itches. If I ignore it, it'll go away. So let's take a look and see what Kimo's seen so far. He did not actually scout the hunt with his scout, which is why his Ajax is coming down here, because he's anticipating that the hunt is over on this side. Because he checked this, didn't see it, thinks he checked this, and now he's going to find out that his Ajax is not on the right side of the map. So that's a bit of a problem. And a lot of this is kind of inefficient pathing here. So all of them go to this one gazelle from down here. Ali versus Frazier. Oh, man. The question is, who's Ali and who's Frazier? Who is going to do the rope-a-dope? We'll see. If someone's going to do a rope-a-dope, it's probably the Hades. Alright, so we've got Freya up at 5 minutes. Kind of a slower advance. And we even have an even slower advance from Kimo with Athena at 5:10. We do have Shelty. He saved his Dwarven Mine, so that's good. He'll have even more gold down if he gets rushed here. Because this is a little bit of a precarious gold mine. But with the Dwarven Mine to use, you'll be fine. Sentinel is used. We have the Valk coming in. Might actually get a pick because the hero is not here. Well, she runs through. The Howard Gazelle. Oh, man. Oh, no Vil kills as we're seeing a stable, a barracks, and archery range. People generally refer to this as the 1-1-1. One of each military building. And it works really well in most situations because these units are so strong. Now, Shelty does have to get off of Hunt because the Greek usually gets early pressure first. You can't stay on the Hunt because you're going to get attacked. So he has no Hunt now, which is kind of important because Hunt does gather substantially faster than other food sources. We do have a raiding cavalry coming in. Would like to see them get in on the villagers that are almost dead already. Like, we've now got 4 that have all been attacked. You kind of combine the lost hit points here. You'd have 1 that would be dead. Kind of some poor pathing again. This dude is trying to find a way to work. And yeah, not super great. I'm bouncing around. And we got more raiding cavalry coming in. See, with this pressure that Shelty is putting on, he actually could be hunting right now. Because Kimo's playing so defensively. Which is big, because Shelty could be on this. There's been no pressure at all on his Hunt. Or he could like go down here. Or at least send like a few down there. That would be okay. But he's not. And that's kind of important. And Chiron will pick off this Valk. Chiron has a track rating of 6, which means Chiron can hit units that move up to a speed of 6. So Chiron can actually get the Valk. So the Valk is going to lose some hit points here. I don't mind the Thor pick. Thor is decent. Thor's had some buffs that made it good. I don't think Shelty was probably anticipating the Hades. Because, like, what you're kind of maybe looking for as the Thor player here, we see a little... Oh, you could almost forest fire this as they're walking. There's a forest fire. A lot of Vils are going to lose hit points. Oh, he kind of, though, did the wrong tree. It didn't get enough, but now they're going to be surrounded. We're going to have a few villagers getting killed here, and the units will seek refuge in the burning trees. The tree to cast it on would have been down this one. In the end, he didn't quite get the forest fire he wanted. Just did a little bit of damage, but not a lot. As we see the Minotaur in defense. And, oh, it does get off a hit. That's so much damage. And we'll probably kill a villager, maybe. Kimo always so good on top of, like, turning around a fight. And a Minotaur with the villagers kind of makes this raid not going to work. We have raiding cavalry going to come forward. Oh, Kimo's trying to grab a town center. Grabbing this one is brave. Ooh, what kind of a pop are we at? Shelty's down. Oh, he's going for a heroic age. He's floating a ton of resources. See this raiding cavalry almost dead. Gets away. Oh yeah, Shelty could have been hunting from all of this and would have been alright. But that's okay. Now Shelty does have his armory up. He's 95, 85 food short. We have the gold mine is now empty. Wow, these are tough gold mines for Shelty, though. Blue Lagoon can get some pretty hard gold mines. I mean, really, the Hades gold mines are pretty bad, too. Like, this is his second gold mine, and it's just straightforward. Otherwise, he's got these, which aren't safe at all, either. And Shelty really only has this gold mine and that one to fall back on. And that is going to be tough. The scout is killed. Kimo knows, however, that there's Hunt here. And Kimo might even check the gold mine while he's down there. And could get on the villagers here. Nice raiding so far from Shelty. Been really active. Really nice response from Kimo there. That was almost immediate. And they turn and fight, so you gotta run. And oh no, these dwarves will probably tell Kimo what's going on over here. Depends. Okay, he noticed them. So Shelty's got to come down with his army. Otherwise, we might have some problems down here in the corner of the map. And should split off these raiding cavalry, because Shelty beats this army. He wins it. As we have him upgrade up. Yeah, he upped. He's got the frost. See, that's not a good frost. That's a panic frost because Shelty's army was out of position. So that's not good. Not good at all. You want to use your frost in aggression. Like, say if Shelty's able to attack here, he can use frost, which could potentially freeze not only the army, but also the villagers. But you have to use frost down here because his army was out of position. That's not good. Because they weren't doing anything. Like, they were just sitting here. I think he was waiting to attack, but Kimo kind of preempted him by coming down to attack anyway. And Kimo grabbing another town center. Again, we got Shelty with like 1,000 units here now for no reason. As we see now, frost is over. We'll get a good trap. I mean, it'll still be useful, this whole frost. Chiron just stuck. But you would have liked to have saved frost for when you're attacking here. And now what does Shelty do? He's going to go forward, probably. Maybe build like a hill fort back here, or just wall this off. And he is ahead on military, so he can't keep on fighting. He can press the attack. Grabbing this third town center for Kimo is risky. Like, if I'm Shelty and as soon as I see Kimo bumping up to 3 town centers, I just go all in on this. Because Kimo shouldn't be able to afford reinforcements for a little bit because of, I mean, each town center is 700 resources and villagers are of course 50 each. So here comes Shelty. He's doing the right thing, coming forward, and we'll get a Toxote frozen. We have just one Ajax here. Got to keep your Frost Giant back. They're so valuable. Wow, look at Ajax just getting pegged. That was a ton of damage. And nice to get the raiding cavalry down in on this. This might force out a restoration comes out. But even after this restoration, Shelty should win this fight. I mean, there's no hero. Here comes the hero right there. But still, this Frost Giant does so much damage. So strong. And gotta watch out you're throwing Axemen. You don't really want them throwing at the Toxotes. And the raiding cavalry run around. And they should come up just all the way up here and get on all of the Toxotes. But we got some nice Toxote use. Nice raiding cavalry already. And this is where I was thinking. The 30 town centers is a little risky. 2 is okay. This one's pretty risky, though, to grab this one be your second. Because that's the danger. I mean, uh-oh. Oh, this is actually... I like this play from Kimo here. Because he can't defend this. So what he's doing is kind of buying himself time. When you've got the Toxotes in on the Hersier. You've got Chiron jumping in and out to be safe. And then you've got a really nice raid on this gold mine down in the back. This was a nice tactical decision from Kimo. Because he couldn't hold this full army anyway. So now he's doing damage with his army. And Chiron is almost dead. But he did take out a Frost Giant. But I don't know if that move is enough from Kimo. And we are having this army getting picked off now, but a lot of idle time from Shelty, who has no resources and actually military. Same unit count now, but we've got more Frost Giants coming forward. Both heroes getting trained. Gotta get him out here. Gotta get Frost Giant out. And the big thing about Hades, plus 700 hit points on these town centers is gigantic. So big. And the Frost Giant trying to get out. The Toxotes getting in. The Shades do some good work. And there's not enough units here to save these Frost Giants. You got to get them out of here. And this attack by Kimo down here, that saved him so far. That was really well done. Yeah, and there are no Huskarls. It would be nice to see Huskarls. You're right. And hello. Neo. News? I don't know. We'll go with that. Hello, News. Good to see you. And where are the heroes? So they're hiding in here. Oh, see, then the hero pops out once the raiding cavalry one passed. The raiding cavalry are going to check this gold mine There's not a lot of villagers mining. They're all here. And Shelty doesn't know about it. And then the Frost Giant are coming forward. These raiding cavalry should actually get on Chiron right now. Like, this is a lot of raiding cavalry that are dying. Like, these 3 Frost Giant will kill all these Toxotes. These raiding cavalry should be in on Chiron. And now they're coming in, but I think Chiron might just be able to retreat, potentially. Yeah, let's try. But yeah, no Ajax here, so these Frost Giant will do so much work. And Chiron's trying to get surrounded. He's trying to get out. Taking a lot of hit point damage, though. Meanwhile, these 3 Frost Giant up here are absolutely smashing all these units. But Kimo has taken the score lead. Just because he's got so many more villagers, so his economy is coming in so much stronger. And I don't think Shelty's going to be able to push through. We've got, again, the two heroes are getting retrained. Frost has been used. Like, yeah, see, Shelty can't quite push through here. Another Frost. Would like to see the Frost Giant upgrade from Shelty. But man, as long as Kimo's in age 2, he's gonna have a hard time with all these Frost Giants. Well, they have to get away from the heroes, though. Get him out of there. Got to get all the raiding cavalry on. I just don't know if it's gonna work. Like, 145 pop versus 95. This just isn't working. Eco upgrades aren't super great. Eco upgrades for Shelty or for Kimo are about the same too. Meanwhile, these villagers have been mining gold right next to the town center this whole time. Shelty's probably going to come up here and take a look at this. And Kimo, anticipating the raiding cavalry well ahead of time, will just run away. That's really good. I mean, he saw the raiding cavalry come running up here, so instantly moved his villagers away. And better safe than sorry. You'd see a lot of players that would just sit here and just hope, which in the end, I guess these raiding cavalry didn't check anyway, but that's nice to see. I'm going to cast the rest of these too. If you want, we could try to figure it out for the rest of the games. See what you want to do. These raiding cavalry coming through, but I just think I Bring Life is just, Shelty's just so far behind. I mean, look at these, look at the resource and eco difference here. I mean, 32 villagers down. Did age up to Balder. We're going to have a 48 Vil Ragnarok. I don't think that's going to be enough. I mean, theoretically, maybe he could do a gold block. Because Kimo's gold isn't super great. One here. One there, and there. They're all forward. We've got all of these here. And we got a big fight down here in the bottom. Shelty has to be careful not to lose all these units here. This Frost Giant, he's walled off from the rest of the army. He's just he's just sitting at this wall just looking over like, I wish I were part of this. And then but as he sees his two cohorts here fall, I mean, maybe he's glad he's not part of this in this fight. Just all these Frost Giants dying. The raiding cavalry would have been nice to have them in here a while ago. I mean, raids are good, but I don't know. See, now this Frost Giant is just taking a ton of damage. How close are we to Balder? We're 19%, 18% away. And we do have Aphrodite up. You almost might want to just curse this. Maybe. But yeah, Shelty, he's 700 points down. It's a 4-1 town center game. I mean, the Ragnarok is going to be nice. But I don't think he's got enough. Didn't even drop off resources either. And all the Rag heroes come up. Might be able to put this in a pincer if the raiding cavalry would have come forward. But no, Shelty's going to come running up, and he's going to go for town centers. Yeah, you know, he did need 2 town center reg. The problem is he went so aggressive he could never afford it. Now, right now, he needs... Yeah, his only chance is a gold block. Like, even attacking this town center here, I don't know if it's really worth it. Because the key is these gold mines. Like, I mean, I guess you'll get it down. There's no Masons. Masons is so big to get. Like, Masons is almost better to get against Reg than Fortified Town Center. In fact, I'd say it is because it trains so much faster. And Kimo throwing away this whole army here. He's got to be careful. We see the curse come down, gets a few units, nothing too crazy. But Kimo's army here is a little bit of a scary spot as we see these Regs trying to get the surround. But the big thing is, will Shelty find all of the gold mines? We do have this town center has also fallen. We've got all these villagers dying, but the key are these gold mines. And now because Shelty couldn't quite get the surround in, we do have all these Taxotes doing really good work. The fire giant is out of position. He needs to be raining down fire literally on these units here. But we need to see the gold block. Like, killing the army here is great, but Shelty needs to get on the gold. And so far he's not. Don't attack here. You don't want to go in here. You need to get up on the gold mines. So, what gold mines does he know about? He knows this one. He knows this one. Oh, he doesn't know the one on the top, though. And the fire giant will play. Man, I mean, pigs are even coming forward. But will Shelty check the other ones? And now we've got Masons and Fortified. Like, attacking this position is not the right move for Shelty. He needs to get on the gold. I don't think he's quite got it, though. Like, his army is almost depleted, and he has nothing in the bank that I can remember seeing. Yeah, he's got nothing. So his only chance is a humongous gold block, but if he does manage that, Kimo can just sell resources. And not catching this one, I don't think he's going to see it. And yeah, now we've got that pacifist coming out, and that's going to be so tough to deal with. And okay, he did scout this one. His raiding cavalry just ran past it, so he did see it. He hasn't noticed it yet. But Reg is not here anymore. 96 pop. They're dying. They're fighting in a spot that this isn't the win condition here. It's blocking gold. But I don't think, even if Shelty played this perfectly, I think he was just too far behind. Because even if he does a complete gold block, you still can just trade resources at the market. And we've done this. This is all Shelty's got now. I mean, he's got these two Brady cavalry, and Shelty doesn't even have enough resources really to restart an economy. I mean, he's got 3 villagers. So the fire giant comes forward, and it does look like Kimo has taken care of business here in game number 1. I think we can probably, for the sake of time, just fast forward this because Shelty has nothing. So let's fast forward. The game's over. We can move on. And now Shelty sees this gold mine, and now he resigns because he's realized, yes, that it's been open too long. Hello, are you still around? Nice kill-death ratio. But the villagers just way behind. 2 things was the problem, I think, for Shelty here. Number 1, his army at the start of Classic Heroic Age was out of position. And he needed to use a bad frost to save his units. Like, if he had a better wall, like if he had walled this off and walled this, he could have, it would have been fine. That would have saved, just a few walls would have saved a frost usage. The other problem then was, because he didn't have frost, he could never actually quite get this town center down. And really, it was kind of that main thing, I think. Without having to waste frost here, I think he gets this town center down pretty early. And then it's kind of a completely different game. But shoulda, woulda, coulda. Like still even with eco until right about your 12:30 mark, which that's when the boom really took off. Well, that is a win for game number 1 here for Kimo Sabi. We'll put him on, and then we're going to try to see if we can get Hells in on this. John, thanks for the host. We just got done with game number 1 in the semifinals, and let's figure out how to do this the most appropriately. I think the best thing might be for me to get on the actual Discord app. So hold on, and we will load up my app of the Discords and get into the voice channel. And I think we'll try to accomplish the rest of the series with Hellsravage. And I'm gonna have to do a screen share with old Hellsravage. Waiting. Connection problems? Let us know. Well, it's not connecting. There we go. All right. Let's get on over. And we will get into the general voice channel. And hello, can you hear me?
Hey there.
Hey. Let's make this a private channel for now.
All right. Yeah, I figured this would be the easiest thing, but if you had some better idea.
No, this is how I usually do it. So I need to figure out though why. Oh, that's why. What's up, Lord?
And it's midnight. It's Saturday night. What better thing is there to do than to watch some Age Mythology?
Nothing at all. That's why I'm here.
Exactly.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Oh, you're trying to share your screen.
Is that what you want?
Where would I see it?
In the Discord channel.
Let's see. I see watch stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. All right.
Oh, someone's texting me.
If there's no if you're streaming with no lag or no delay, then you don't have to share your screen, right? Because
well, there is a delay.
Oh, okay.
I've got like a 15-second delay.
Oh, okay.
So should be. Now, how do I get this so I can't see it because it makes my computer run slower? I don't want to see it.
It is a little pixelated, but I mean, I don't care.
Yeah, it's going to be. I put it on lower, otherwise it's going to slow mine down. All right.
Totally cool.
So you should be. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, this is Hellsravage, who is joined up. Hells has been playing the game for quite a while. Not quite as long. He's not got quite as long as me, and not quite as old as me. Not quite as good looking as me. Well, he's a lot smarter.
I would say, or some would say, I've been playing for too long.
Some people like me never grow up, and here I am.
Exactly.
But yeah, Hells has been a very good player for a long time. He's not quite as active as he used to be, or really active at all. So he doesn't play a whole lot now. But let's get into game number 2 and forward before it gets too late. And thanks, John Arbitrator, for the host. Can you see? You can still see this, right?
Yeah. We're good.
And then,
I just real quick on last game, I watched. I actually cast that game earlier today, and I think you pretty much got everything right. I just wanted to say that, Shelty made some throwing axemen early in the game. I think he made like 6 or 8 of them.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get any value out of axemen. And he could have just taken a second town center. Like that 300 wood and 300 gold that he spent on the axemen could have been put to like so much better use.
Yeah, because he never really fought with them, so they just kind of were dead weight. They just kind of sat around and slowed his army down when they tried to move.
Yep.
But yeah, I think the big thing, I I don't know. It seems to me that a lot of Norse players really undervalue walling the map off. And it's so easy.
Oh, definitely.
Like, if he'd walled that bottom right off, he wouldn't have had to use a frost at all, or he could have had his army in the right position. One of the two things. Instead, he did neither, and that was kind of the end of that.
That's right.
For those in chat, I did turn Hells up, so let me know if you can hear the dude, he's too loud, or you want me to shut him up, and then I can just kick him out, and we'll go on without him. Haha! All right, let's go on to game number 2 here. Oh, how about I change my overlay? That would be very important. And we will move on to game number 2. Kimo versus Shelty. You can hear him. All right, good. Game number 2. Cool. There may or may not be 5 games. Does this work for you then, Hells?
Yes, it does.
Oh man,
it's like a Nintendo game from 1988, but it'll do.
You can't diss Nintendo, man. I grew up on that. Mega Man 5 was my play back in the day. I used to sneak into my brother's room when he was gone and play Mega Man 5. That was like my first memory of games. But anyway. We're on Age of Mythology, which is almost as old, I guess you could say. We've got Kimo on the top as he's playing Ra. So back to, I guess, his standard best god, but his Hades look good. And then we've got Shelty again as Thor. Are you, Hellsravage, familiar with this map at all?
Not at all. Please fill me in.
Okay, well, yeah, most people aren't. It's a map that Rebels Rising was working on pretty recently. And then he finished it up just in time for the playoffs to start. And since Boyd and I are old farts and we like new things, we decided, you know what, let's just use this map. Because really at this point, 16, 17, 18 years into Age of Mythology, why are we playing on the same 11 maps? So,
definitely.
Here we are. So what makes this map a little bit different than like standard ones is that you've got this backwater that has 6 to 8 fish typically. So we've got 3, 6, 7, 8 for both players. And then the gold mines will be in town centers. You have a town center will always be towards the middle of the map. And then of course you don't really have any back gold mines, though like your second one is pretty close. But the one thing I like about maps like these is like there isn't any sort of like predetermined meta, like which god is the best. So I guess, what do you think? What would your opinion be if you're looking at this map and you're like, what god should I play?
I would say either Norse or Egyptian, like both of these players decided. I mean, I think they were going to go these gods anyway. Obviously, Shelty's a Norse player, but I think the fact that you have water and you don't have to worry about defending it at all is huge for Norse. I think that you can leverage the food income early as Thor in ways that maybe Greek can't. Like you can go for like a pretty quick heroic up as Thor here and do some kind of push. So yeah, I mean, I definitely think that having fish and not having to fight for it is really good for Norse.
Now, would you be contemplating like a semi-quick Ragnarok here with this free fish into like an early second town center?
It depends. It looks like the large gold mine next to Shelty's base is pretty damn good. And I think his forward town center is securing 2 of those large gold mines. So
yeah, it is.
It's definitely. I would definitely consider like maybe like an 18-minute rag or something, because this looks like a pretty big map. Like I don't really think that Shelty is gonna exactly be like on Kimo's side of the map in the first half of this game. It looks like a pretty defensible game.
Yeah, it is. Like by format, it's got the sides chopped off, kind of like Anatolia a little bit. So it's a lot. It's kind of narrow. I think players are a little bit closer than like Anatolia. So it's because Anatolia is actually the players spawn way away from each other, so it's a little bit closer. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say though, because there's just no There's no gains on this map, so how do you know? Now, I will say, I don't know if you saw, did you see player versus Scotty on this map?
I didn't know.
So
what happened?
For them, they went Zeus versus Zeus, and both of them snuck a villager to the other side of the map at like 5 minutes and tried to build a dock. Now, player's villager got caught, and Scotty killed it. Player did not see Skatey build his dock, and Skatey took over the water, and that was basically game over at that point. Which was with one villager.
Did build one dock, he won water?
I think he built 2 docks. And I think player, once he realized that he's got like 4 triremes on his fish now, was just kind of like, I don't know if it's worth it to fight it, so he didn't. And he lost just like that. And I didn't expect that at all. Where players would try to like sneak a villager forward. But they did that first game. Now, do you as the Norse player... As we see, Shelty is moving his Ulsark.
Yeah, he's trying to be sneaky here. He's trying to be sneaky.
Now, the problem is, he's going to run it right past this tower. Oh, wow. Oh, the house is in line of sight. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I don't know why
back to what you were saying. Though about the no meta thing, like I really appreciate that. Like I wouldn't have necessarily come up with the idea to sneak a villager myself. So the fact that we saw some like ingenuity by some of the better players is like one of the things that I really like to see.
Well, this Ulsark is certainly not big sneaky. He might as well just build the dock like right next to Kimo's dock. And let's see. Kimo, he does. He's got line of sight of the dock. Oh, man. Here comes the villager.
Oh, no. Here it comes.
Oh, man. Now, did he wall in his Ulfsark? I mean, he's up. I guess he could maybe fight this, but... Oh, jeez. Yeah, if you're going to be sneaky, maybe don't run past the towers.
You know what, though?
Okay. Wall him up. Wall up. Oh, no. Nope. Didn't get it. You really can't wall segment. You have to build like a normal wall.
Yeah.
But, you know, I guess he does have 2 villagers chasing his Ulfsark, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah, I think if Kimo had overreacted and made an arrow ship, it would have been worth it, but yeah, I think he's...
Nope.
Yeah.
He just sent his Wadget over, and we got the Valk now. Though we'll pick off the Wadget. And Kimo is grabbing... We can see in the mini-map, Kimo's grabbing a second town center right away. But the Wadget is going to get picked off here. Now the Ulfsark can just build over here, so... We might see... Maybe this will work out in the end. Maybe it was all a ploy to kill the Wadget.
And just like the positioning of that back TC, like there's no way Shelty can apply any pressure to that.
Right.
Like it's just the positioning of it. It's just like Kimo is going to get a free boom here. It's just a matter of if Shelty can either match the boom or have some kind of like timing push or something, because it's just Kimo's going to expand at will.
Right. Now we see Shelty is making a raiding cavalry. Do you think they'll accomplish much here? Or would you rather have seen Shelty making that town center like you talked about?
Raiding cavalry, like I don't know how you feel about them now, but I just feel like they don't get a whole lot of value, especially in small groups against Egyptian. They can heal villagers, and I think he's raw, so he gets Skin of the Rhino. So like those raiders aren't going to do much. So instead of grabbing the Longhouse and the raiders, he should have just gone straight for the second TC.
Man, he went 3 Longhouse here.
Oh, shit.
I don't know what he's going to raid, because you're right, you can't. I mean, he is kind of almost aged up if he stops queuing raiding cavalry. I don't know if you can read the pixelated numbers, but he's got 800 food and 250 gold.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, he could still try to do like some sort of timing push in this gold mine, because this town center, though, doesn't keep this gold mine safe. So we do see some arrow ships on here. We got a few longboats. So in the end, the unsneaky build did work out. We got this relic monkey that's about to... Poor little thing.
Oof.
It is so
Oh,
cute.
Peter.
Oh, man. But yeah, I like getting in on the fish here. I think it is of value. Now, I don't know if you needed to make 3. I mean, that's 450 resources there. And the tower will go down.
This is the same issue as the first game, where, like, Shelty's going to play Kimo even for a while, and then the fact that Kimo plays off multiple town centers, whereas Shelty plays off one, it just eventually comes back to, like, bite you in the ass. Like, it just would be so much better if Shelty grabbed at least one town center.
Yeah, he is 40% up Bragi, and we do see Skin of the Rhino coming in for Kimo, which with the new patch, it does have to come in the town center, so it's kind of at the expense of 3 villagers. But yeah, like what you're saying about the military is he's got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 raiding cavalry, 13, and they've done nothing. They killed the tower that protected nothing. So what's the point of having them so far?
Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of superficial. Like it's not really like it looks good. Like, you know, Shelty's score was higher for a while in the first game, if not for the whole game. But eventually, the fact that you're playing off one town center is gonna come back and haunt you.
The only chance I think at this point, as Boyd is saying in the chat, is the gold block, which he could potentially do because I mean Kimo's got 300 gold in the bank and has about 350 left in the gold mine. So Kimo will have about 700 gold to play with when it comes to trying to secure this gold mine. Now, the problem is I think Shelty needs to get on it. Here comes the Migdal. Bit of a risky spot.
Yeah, I don't love that positioning.
Ooh, it depends if Shelty sees it, though. I mean, because the line of sight for the raiding cavalry is basically non-existent, so he's not quite... Like, if he saw it, he could have killed it. Instead, he's going to just suicide against his town center.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know about this play.
No.
Like,
oh no.
He has a battle board, but he's not even using it. And now we have a flaming weapons. I don't even know if he kills it with the flaming weapons, maybe. I'm not sure. Here's the shifting sands away. I don't even think he needed to shift anything away. And it's going to be not so good. We got the Petsuchos getting killed. We have a forest fire here, killing a few villagers, but why would you try to kill the town center?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure what he was thinking there.
Now the gold mine's empty. Like, if he would have attacked the Migdal instead, it'd be dead.
That's kind of like the other thing, though, about going with one town center play, is that it kind of handcuffs you in a way where, like, you know that you have to like deal some damage if you go one town center. And I feel like that was like one of those cases where Shelty's like, okay, well, I have the army, and now I need to do something with it, or else I just fall behind.
But wouldn't you expect, and I know as us watching it's easy to see, but wouldn't you expect, assuming that the raw player just aged up, that he'd be building a Migdal somewhere? So wouldn't you, like, normally just check for the Migdal instead?
You would think. You would think.
And now we've got the buff Skin of the Rhino villagers here, which will live forever. And while this push is looking nice, we do have Kimo with 1,200 food in the bank, which he could sell. He's building a market here. So Kimo now he's like gold blocked for now. But, like, I think with what happened, like, if Shelty would have just done flaming weapons on the Migdal, I think he might be, like, winning the game right now, potentially.
Yeah, and this is a whole other subject, kind of, but one of the mechanics that Kimo, like, really takes advantage of is the value of the market. Like he doesn't really care if he's gold starved a lot of games because he just trades at the market. Which, you know, you can argue whether there's like too much value
Right.
from the market in a sense, but he does take advantage of that a lot.
So yeah, he did sell, I think, 1,000 food. And now we've got the units coming forward again as we see a little bit. Did we see? Oh, we didn't see a locust, and I think we're about to see it right here. This could be it.
If there are any Norse players in the chat,
don't look!
X out. X out.
Oh, come on. He's just... Okay, there's the... Oh. Okay, alright. I mean... A decent villager split there because Kimo took too long. So in the end, it's only 3 dwarves, but they're going to be idle for so long.
Yeah.
So, well, Kimo made it... He made it easy on the Norse players there, so... Not bad, but in the meantime, now he's at the point where he has enough army that he can stay on this gold mine. And now, Shelty, since Plan A didn't work, he's moving to Plan B, which is building this town center. Kind of eco upgrades we're looking at. Not even a plow.
It's interesting how raiding cavalry are kind of like feast or famine. A lot of the times, like sometimes I watch games, I'm like, wow, like full pop raiders are so good, but like in this game, it's just like I don't know, like it's like I guess camels obviously negate them, but
it's camels and skin of the rhino. I mean, they just don't do enough damage to either of these units. And yeah, he's not going to be able to gold block him now. Economically, he's at 60 villagers to 36, and Shelty does have 3 he stole 3 fishing ships over here. Oh, we see a hammer ship coming in. And oh, will he even get this town center up? He's only got 2 hearths here. Now here comes an Ulfsark. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Here come the villagers. Oh no. I don't think it's coming up.
Oh, this is painful. Battle boars are doing a lot of damage.
They are. But they're going to have to do a whole lot more. I mean, okay, I mean, all right. Maybe I'm laughing too soon. Because now we have the full switch to Ulfsark. We'd like to see medium Ulfsark. And yeah, the battle boars, as a raw player, I know the pain here. Once you start seeing myth units that have high pierce armor, what do you do until you get Osiris? So yeah, the battle boar tanking so much damage. And Matt, I see you in the chat. Will I get age 4? I don't know. We'll see. But okay, the town center will go up. But still, 63 vills to 40. I don't know.
Yeah, he did force Kimo to make some mercenaries. I'm not really sure why. That wasn't really necessary, but I don't really see where Shelty goes from here.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's going forward, but I'm not sure either. I mean, if Kimo doesn't have a super large army though right now, he's gonna go raid these 8 villagers or 5 over here, and then he's gonna have a raid on this. But where is Kimo's army? I guess it's here. But man, yeah, these battle boar will tank a ton of damage.
Yeah.
But so will the villagers.
Yeah. Yeah, you hate to see, you're talking about myth units with high pierce. You hate to see frost giants just slapping priests as if, like, they're not a counter.
Right. And the problem here is, like, so many of Shelty's units are just attacking villagers, and then they're just slowly dying, and now all we have left are the battle boar. And when they're all alone, they can only do so much.
And that's exactly what you want to do. is just try to just avoid the battle boars and just kill everything else because they're just like you said, they're useless without backup.
This raid is so annoying from Kimo. And the problem there too in that fight is that Shelty took almost all of that fight with unupgraded Ulsark. They weren't even medium for the majority of that.
Yeah.
And this raid is tough too. I mean, it's only 5 units that came down here, but they're doing so much damage. The villagers. They're not even attacking the chariot. They're just running up.
They just wanted a high five.
Well, they high-fived, and then I guess it was enough, and the chariots run away. Do you see Shelty reaching Baldur for the gold block? I mean,
I can't see how many resources he has because of the pixelation. But,
he's got 380 food and 100 gold and 50 villagers.
It doesn't even matter. Those raids were pretty good. I don't think he even would have enough villagers where it would matter.
Yeah, you only have 50. I mean, he has caught up in vill count. It's now 60 to 50. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Those battle boars, like, I will say one thing this game that makes me really reconsider going Raggy more often is these battle boars are actually doing really well.
Yeah. I think though the thing with Frost Giant though is that you also get the myth unit kill with them, which makes them so good. Like the battle boar are tanks and they do siege damage, but I think you're almost looking more for like the Frost Giant is essentially like a heroic age insta kill on a myth unit in a way.
Yeah.
But Shelty is grabbing a 3rd town center now, but Kimo is just clicked up to age 4 Osiris, so I don't see Shelty holding on to this town center, the front one, very long. And we see a couple of units coming down. We see the Pharaoh trying to get surrounded here, but he will escape. Yep, he gets out.
Is there a large gold mine for Kimo on the top left? Anywhere? Not like, no, there's nothing. Okay.
Nothing. But this gold mine has 1,300 left. So he would have to come down here. Or just sit back and wait to get Osiris. Who is, the Pharaoh is, well, the Pharaoh's dead again. But Osiris is still about a minute away, and Pharaoh, I think, has a 2-minute respawn timer, I think. So the Pharaoh will come back pretty quick. Now these villagers got to run back in. You know, for all this bashing of what Shelty did early, Kimo is no longer as far ahead as I thought he'd be.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, because really, like, Kimo came out ahead in most fights. He was booming earlier than Shelty was, so I don't really know what went wrong.
I think the problem is he took too long to switch to Axemen, because he's only made like 4 Axemen, and like as soon as Shelty switched over from pure raiding cavalry and is now making Ulsarks, like, seems like he started winning a little bit more fights, and Kimo just kind of has continued with the same unit composition. So yeah, Kimo's kind of scuffled a little bit.
It seems like Kimo's never been full popped either. Even when he was winning the battles, he was always low.
Yeah, he was usually like 10 low. Now we have Osiris up though, and these mummies will now be the counter that you need to the... Oh no. Oh, oh, no, it got it. Oh yeah, I thought he got that Axeman at first, but yep, there's the battle board down. And now we have Kimo moving. seems like his entire squadron of villagers over here. Now they are almost like all half dead.
A few minutes ago, I was saying how I don't think Rag would win, but I think that I have no idea what happened with this game. By the way, I have no idea who won, but it seems like if Shelty were to be able to get a Rag in the next couple minutes, he might get lucky.
Yeah. Now he's going in for this surround on the Osiris, but he's not going to kill him. I mean, took out about half hit points, so I guess that's decent, but this is going to secure this gold mine. Yeah, if Shelty can delay, the problem is 200 food, 400 gold in the bank. I don't know if he's still a few minutes away.
I thought he was closer.
No, he has 1,000 wood though. He's building a market now, so I think he's kind of thinking this is his only chance. He's actually ahead in Vil count now, 65 to 72.
What's the timer on the game? I can't see it. How long has this game been going?
It's 2015.
Yeah, he should have more villagers than that. That's not a lot of villagers for a 20-minute game.
No. Who is he? Both or Kimo?
Well, I guess both. But Shelty for a 20-minute game as Norse, you should have, I would say, at least 75, 80 villagers.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to my chat. Let's refix this.
Oh.
Can you see the game still?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Invalid. What is my password? Do you know it?
Like cookie 123, right? Something like that.
Oh, you gotta do a reCAPTCHA. Oh my goodness. This is stupid. Verify. Oh, whatever. Alright. Well, chat will have to wait. The Osiris took some more damage from that town center there.
We don't need them. We don't need the chat.
We'll get you guys back after this game. Shelty is now, in that time period, he's aging up Balder. If he can save this town center, I don't think he will though. This rock can just fly down here.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why he dropped it off there. Okay, all right. Gotta run these villagers though. Okay, so town center is gonna go down in one more shot. Got 12 hit points. The villagers need to get out of here though. I mean, every one dead is one fewer reg hero. And you're right.
Yeah, what are they doing? Run.
They were believing that the town center wasn't going to go down. They were believers. It didn't quite work out for them. What do we got? We do have second line of Pierce armor and then just bronze, mail, and... or not even bronze, copper. And... oh, we've got a trade route coming over here, but Shelty theoretically could stop it with boats, which he actually does have a boat here. Just running all the way away.
I'm assuming that Kimo's stockpiling resources right now.
Not really. He's got 200 food, 400 wood, and 600 gold.
Okay.
And now we have, there's the reg. All the villagers get turned into full HP reg heroes. And it was I didn't look at the Vil count, but I think it ended up being about maybe a 70 Vil reg. Could be enough, potentially. No Masons yet. Son of Osiris is half dead. 3/4 dead, actually. So, will Shelty pull this game out of a hat?
I can't believe I have to ask this for how long I've been playing this game. But half HP villagers get converted to full health?
Yep.
I guess I just, like, I don't know, I missed that. Or, like, I don't know. Somehow I've only played about probably 10,000 Norse games, but, you know, I just completely don't even think about it.
Yep, because it's a brand new... well, it's kind of weird, though, because, like, the Osiris keeps the hit points of the Pharaoh, as far as percentage. But villagers get turned into... yeah, the hit points for reg don't matter, so I don't know why, but whoa! We missed a massacre down here. I wish the gold mine was gone anyway. Now, does Kimo hold this? He's got champion axeman. He's got 500 gold in the bank.
That's a bad place to be for Shelty.
Yeah, I think Shelty just ignores this town center. I think he should just take the edges off the map and I mean, he's got fish, so he can eventually take all the town centers and, you know, be the 4-1 or 5-1. So
yeah, he's making the right move here. He's making Kimo come out to this position to defend his town center.
Yeah.
This is really smart here.
Trying to get these throwing axemen on the axemen though. They're chasing villagers. There we go. Or now they're hitting the rock. And where's Sun? Oh, there he is. Oh, Star still has 188 hit points. These running right through the middle of the fight there. And I don't know, Shelty's starting now to throw it a lot of away. Oh wow. These great heroes got I don't know if this is gonna work out now.
Wow.
Oh, this town center had 8 hit points. Oh no. The problem there was Shelty like had 30 reg heroes here. And then I ran them through the middle of the map, right through the base, and they just kept dying, and then he had to run them out. So that was oof. I think that might have been kind of it there. Now he's got fire giants, 3 of them. I mean, he can rebuild the economy. He's got 1,400 food in the bank, but that was a bit of a throw. Yeah, he got wedged in here a little bit. I thought he got out in time, but he had half of his, not half, he had a whole squad of reg over here that never really did anything. And now we're going to have a rock drop with a couple catapults, and unless these fire giants are sitting in position, I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't know at this point where he can go. You know, it'd be nice to see Shelty maybe try to like push Kimo off water a little bit more, like that, because that's what he's using. Okay. Yeah. Now it's kind of like a game of cat and mouse.
Yeah, it's all like if these fire giants can get a good toss here, but they're all right, decent toss. I mean, did a lot of damage to the chariots, but you'd kind of want to get the throwing axemen actually there. Yeah, I don't know. And we've got okay, we do have a fire giant though chasing this rock down on the bottom, so that's pretty nice. And you got this turn and fight here. I mean, there are no mummies. And the Son of Osiris is to the point where he could get picked off pretty quickly. But Kimo's able to... He's 4 market boom over here now.
And Shelty only has 1 town center, so it's not like he's replenishing his villagers at the same rate.
And here comes a mummy in on 1 fire giant. They can't even catch up to the mummy. The raiding cavalry come through, and they're just taking a ton of damage. And mummy will survive. And yeah, and he's got a bit of a trade route, but it's pretty bad. They're getting 19 gold a trip. Like, he could have built his market literally anywhere. It's here. This is a map, not super great trade routes, actually, anywhere. Because even if you build it on the side, the map is pretty narrow. You're not getting a ton of value out of your trade routes, but...
Right.
Yeah, I think this is just kind of the inevitable here. Because what, Kimo's is only getting 23. That's not good either. But Shelty has to replenish an entire economy. This rock still is so annoying. Oh, well, 1 more shot. So the rock has 4.0 speed. The fire giant is 3.2.
Oh, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it.
Yeah, that was kind of some incompetent rock control there. But oh, got a big fight up the front here. Oh, nice. Nice. Oh, here come the raiding cavalry. Can they get us surrounded?
Oh, nice.
Oh, he's walking forward. This might be the Osiris. He's healing. I think you should have the fire giant throwing at the Osiris right now, who might go down any... Okay. Oh. 2 hit points. Still 2 hit points.
Oh no! Come on.
There he goes. Oh man. But we still have this mummy left, who just wasted his special. But now, Shelty basically used his entire army for that, and now he can't stop the town center. And I don't know. He's behind by so much. We'll catch those catapults there. Let's see if I can fix this chat here.
You know, at this point, I'm so ready to move on to the next game. As like when I'm in this same position as Shelty is, he just plays until he's certain to lose. I definitely give up a little faster than Shelty does.
Yeah. Let's see. Test. Alright, I don't know if the chat is working or not, but we're here. Yeah, I don't... Well, Shelty's economy, like... he does have pickaxe. Or not pickaxe. He does have the complete quarry.
Yeah.
And this gold mine is now out. And Kimo knows that. So... killing this market is almost a benefit for Shelty, because no matter where he's going to build it, it's going to basically be better. But
right.
yeah, this raid here, I think it's over. I mean, look at Kimo's trade route compared to Shelty's. Kimo's got what? 30 caravans, and it's even got the priest empowerment too. And Shelty way behind on economy. Kimo is 160 pop, and Shelty is kind of running his circles here. So I think maybe in the interest of time, we might kind of fast forward this game a little bit, unless you got a problem with it.
No. I think the game's pretty much over. Like I said, I don't know. I guess Shelty just likes to play it out.
It is a semifinal, so I mean, you lose, you're kind of done. But yeah, I just don't see how Shelty can survive. I mean, Kimo's getting a raid coming in on the left here on the caravans, and that's going to be a problem. And he's getting a nice build in the middle. And yeah, the caravans have to stop. Raiding cavalry are coming down to kind of save the day, but Kimo's just economically so far ahead now. Oh, I don't know if Kimo knows about this side. Oh yeah, I mean, he knows it's there. Well, a lot of raiding cavalry, but oof. These mummies, oh no, 2 mummy specials, and yeah, now we've got upgraded siege. I don't know how Shelty will be able to keep up the hold here. We see elephants too. And so this first push probably by Shelty will look pretty decent. But I don't know if he can keep up the pressure. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Shelty is...
Maybe we spoke too soon.
I mean, Shelty, he's kind of got his economy back. 50 villagers, 21 ox carts here. So maybe it'll be okay. See this big fight going on here, but I don't know.
Yeah, I do like that Shelty made some Ulfsarks here, like just to get some buildings up. But at some point, he's just gonna run out of steam.
Yeah, I don't think he can keep up the unit production for too long.
This choke point's really good too.
Yeah. I mean, we've got even champion Axemen coming down here, and now the last fire giant is done, and now I think we're kind of at the point where Shelty is kind of running pretty low on resources. Kimo's got 40 caravans, and he can now just kind of just flood mercenaries from this front here, and we're seeing the classic tower spam. There it is. So Shelty thought he had a chance there. Didn't want to resign, but he did. And I fixed the chat so I can see the chat again.
That was a good game, though.
Yeah. For as close as it was, it tells me that if Shelty would have appropriately used his flaming weapons and attacked, he would have won.
Yeah, no, definitely. It seems like a balanced map. Like, you know, nothing. Like, I don't see anything that is like, oh, like, you know, this is like clearly an advantage for like one civ over another. Yeah. But yeah, I think it all came down to that. Actually, both the last two games have come down to the heroic god powers. Like, he wasted frost. Well, he didn't waste frost, but he was forced to use frost.
Yeah, he's forced to waste it, basically.
Yeah.
And pretty good position for economy. I think he canceled the upgrade here so that it's a little bit higher than what it should be, but yeah, he canceled. I think he must have maybe clicked frost first and then changed to, because his resource bar kind of jumps up.
Oh.
But yeah, I think that because yeah, at this point where you use flaming weapons, it was 31 military to 8, and Kimo defended it.
Yeah, if he just kind of waited a few minutes and camped on that large gold mine, I would have really liked to see what would have happened.
Well, we don't get to know. We can only pretend that we would know. As we're moving on to game 3, is this going to be a 3-0 sweep? Or will Shelty fight back? I don't know.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, dun, dun, dun. What do you mean I'm going to be higher on the list, Mr. Flacco? I missed some chat because it wasn't working right. Yeah, here's the problem, though. So I see this a lot as like a caster of these games. Is like, if Kimo wins this series 3-0, people are going to be looking at these games as like Hades/Ra overpowered, when in reality, balance really had nothing to do with the way these two games ended up. But that's what happens like all the time, is like you'll see somebody win and they'll be like, oh, overpowered, and like 3 months from now, well, you remember when Kimo beat Shelty 3-0? And people will forget like the real reason behind the wins losses.
Yeah, and anyway, I would say Thor and Norse are in such a good position now. Like, I would say that last game, I don't know about this game because there's, like you said, there's really no meta for this map yet, but Thor, I mean, my opinion is that Thor should be favored against Hades on High Hunt. Mm-hmm. So the fact that Kimo won last game, like, I don't know, it doesn't really tell me anything.
Yeah, sometimes it's just the players playing better than the other that actually determines the game. But let's move on to game 3. Thor versus Set on Watering Hole. So if you're wondering, the Set player is Kimo, and Shelty is Thor. So Shelty's sticking to Thor. 0-2 so far.
Hey, you know, you got to stick to what you know.
Well, I don't know if he knows, because so far he hasn't won.
I'm gonna grab some water, but keep going.
All right. So yeah, Set versus Thor. So I kind of thought coming into this that we might see Shelty, who's the blue color, I Bring Life, actually picking Set here. Instead, what we see... What the heck is this bug flying in this room? It's gonna kill me. This thing's huge. Where'd it go? Anyway. Yeah, Shelty should have won the last game. You're right. You guys see it on the webcam landing on me? Let me know. Big bug. Now, here's one thing I'm confused about. Is... Oh, I know why. So... Why would Kimo convert his own animal? Is because he wants to have a unit to save him while he goes forward and converts in the middle. Because if you're set and you go all in on the forward conversion and you get found by your Ulsark, then you got to run all the way back. So he converts the hippo first, and now he's converting more hippo. And I think he wants to save these elephants for these town center.
Alright, I'm back.
Okay. So far we've got this Grayling. Killed one. Killed a pig. And we now...
That pig did nothing to him, man. That was unnecessary.
Yeah. Nyan has a question in chat. Why is he going to convert the hippo instead of the elephant? I think it's because Kimo is going to... grab this town center and then just eat the elephant here. That's my thought behind it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that those jerk eggy patch players did was they made elephants convert faster. So I would convert the elephants a little before the hippos personally, but because they get a lot of value in fighting too.
Are you sure they convert faster? I'm gonna have to see. It's 80 seconds. I think it might always been 80.
I thought they converted Shadowfax the other day was like, whoa, like elephants convert way faster on here.
I don't think that's true.
Okay, well we'll have to fact check him then. I'm just going with what he was saying, but I thought that they converted a little bit faster now.
No, I think it's either the same or slower, depending on, because each yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same or slower. Pretty positive, but that's okay.
What do I know?
There's been so many patch changes, so many different patches, it's hard to keep track. But about strategy here, matchup, who's favored?
I think Norse is favored slightly.
Even on this map.
Even on this map, yes. Because Thor doesn't have to worry as much about animals compared to Odin because he can just snipe, like...
Yeah, pig sticker.
If Kimo shifts, does the standard, like, vision and then sands animals and heroes, then not only does Kimo have to buy the upgrade to have the heroes do decent damage against villagers, but Shelty can also just snipe the animals with his villagers instantly.
Yeah, a little bit. With decent micro, which some of us have and some of us like me don't. You can't just individually snipe every animal with with one vill.
Yeah, old hands, man.
Shelty does have a pretty solid map. He's got gold mine over here. He's got his side elephant, or actually pretty close to his town center, and then does have a gold on the right. He only has one gold on the left, unless you mean this one, Nyan. But Kimo's aging up at 430. And Shelty is a little bit behind. And Kimo, what does he do? No shift. He did use vision right away. So no shift. And we got a random Perseer here in the middle.
This is a dream map. Like, if I was Shelty, I'd be so happy with this map. You have unlimited hunt. The wood line is great. Like, there's no wood line protecting this forward town center here. So it's really exposed to some kind of, like, heroic push or something like that. There's no There's no shield.
And John Housebane, the Loki Herseer here, is escaping with 1 hit point. Now we've got a bit of a fight on this town center. John trying to escape up here. I don't think there's enough here to stop this town center. And oh, John, he's gonna get away. What do you do as Thor here, though? Like, what's your play?
Well, I can't see on the map what his third town center looks like. Has he scouted his third? Yeah, it's right there.
Right
I mean, that's a pretty damn good second town center there. If he can get a hold of that, I don't think that Kimo can really stop him. So I think if he makes some units and then grabs either that town center or the back town, that one or the back, and then kind of go for either some kind of like Scotty push or something like that, or even just play for Rag. I think that's the play. You don't want to stick around in Classic for too long here as Thor, because you have all that hunt and all this gold. You might as well use it.
Well, he's making 3 longhouses.
Yeah, that's that's how he played the first 2 games though. He's gotta grab a town center eventually in one of these games. He's got to learn his lesson.
Yeah. Let's see. On the flip side, though, I would say that with a little bit better play, especially at least for sure in that second game, he would have won one of the games. But
yeah,
now he is going to put a lot of pressure on this. Oh, there's the Shifting Sands, which won't kill a ton of units, but does pretty much. It doesn't even turn out. It doesn't even end this pressure. But there's only 1 hero now, and the Valk will play for a while. Somebody is flipping the auto queue button on and off a whole lot. Yeah, there's no box set up. That's right. And gotta save the Valk, maybe? Yeah, the Shift Sands didn't do a whole lot. Valk has 17 hit points. Do you run? So here, do you run the Valk away and heal her up with another Valk, or do you just let her die? Well,
well, too late. I would.
Oh man, all 3 of these units died right as they were running out. That's not a good turn of events. Like, if you would have ran out with the Valk, could have full healed at least the Raiding Cavalry and the Herseer. And now, try it. Shelty is all about this pressure, though. Coming in again, but AK-47 Pharaoh here will kind of put an end to these Herseer. So I don't know.
Yeah, this is kind of following the same pattern as the first 2 games, where Shelty's doing a good job of applying pressure and keeping Kimo on his toes. And then there's a snowball effect where eventually that not having that second town center really catches up to you.
Yeah.
I know I sound like a broken record, but it's really the theme of these games.
Yeah, and I don't know. Shelty's got medium cavalry coming in. Why would you fight this before medium cavalry gets upgraded?
Right.
Because it's almost done now, and now he's got like half of his 3 or 4 of his raiders are almost dead now. My co-caster is Hellsravage. He's along for the ride tonight as we are going into the depths of the night. Maybe this is just going to be an all-nighter. We'll just stay up all night casting recorded games. As we see this fight here. And as we see Thor have to run away. And I'm not so sure about where this game is going. I'm Thor here. Don't know. Yeah, people in chat are hoping that Shelty goes for another town center, but I'm not seeing it yet.
One nice thing about the latest patch, though, is that if you do go full cavalry, you can get that Thundering Hooves a lot faster than you used to be able to. So, maybe he can take advantage of that this game.
Is beginning to hunt or farm and use pigs when he's still got all of this gazelle right here. Like, wouldn't you, as a Thor player, I know it seems like sometimes Norse players are like really hesitant to build like another ox cart, but wouldn't you instead just like build an ox cart and have 2 hunting packs of villagers?
Yeah, right.
We see a fight here, a big classic fight, as got the raiding cavalry swooping in. Do they have thundering hooves? They look fast. Nope, not quite yet. Kimo a little bit too far forward here. It's really dangerous as Egyptian to go forward in classical age, because if you get caught out, half your army dies. Yeah, and talking about these villagers, so Shelty had 5 or 6 villagers on hunt here, or on the pigs in his base, and then he just joined them up with his forward hunt. And like, why not walk them to that side pack of gazelle over here? I'm not sure. And
Did he scout the 2 elephants?
Nope.
Nope.
Oh man, that hurts.
Yeah,
that hurts. And to me, this is where sometimes the lack of this fight here. I don't think Shelty should be fighting in these choke points, because the slingers can just sling for a long time, and as long as you have micro, slingers do actually decent work. But
yeah.
Oh, now they're gonna see it. The dwarves go into this gold mine to see it. But what I'm saying about the map script is like almost always, I don't remember the percentage, I'd have to look for sure, but you almost always have an elephant spawned somewhere, or it could be hippo. You'll have an elephant or like a hippo spawn. So it's not almost always. It is always. It just depends on what unit it is. But you'll always have this elephant or hippo spawn somewhere on your land. So like if you're a player who's playing and you're like, where is that? You should know it somewhere and like look for it. And we've got Shelty. He's off raiding with half of his raiding cavalry. And Kimo is coming forward. I think that's the right play. But the spearmen just run in and get chopped. Kimo's at 3 town centers. Shelty did grab his back one a while ago, and he's got idle villagers here. And no, they came over here and have to just run away. And Scotty is coming up. This is going to be a big fight here, I think.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see if he decides to frost Kimo's army immediately, or if he waits until Ancestors and saves Frost to cancel that out.
Oh, Kimo, some bad pathing with this army here. Is taking a ton of damage. The raiding cavalry are all on the villagers down here. And oh, Shelty's got to stuck it here a little too long, but now the... Nicely done by Kimo, though. He splits off a few spearmen, come down here. But this is a lot of dead villagers. And getting on that pharaoh. If he can get on that pharaoh. And we have a forest fire that's...
I don't really like that.
No.
Not a great forest fire.
No. Shelty's forest fires not been so great these games. Yeah, we do have the impending Scotty coming up. I think if you're Shelty, you might want to wait, but you might have to use it right away. He's down pop big.
Yeah.
And now he just, he just lost a ton of raiding cavalry here that probably shouldn't have died. Now, the forest fire did kill the lion. But I think Shelty threw away a few too many units there. Like, he probably could have just done the raid and not lost his army up here. And in the end, it wasn't worth. And Kimo is 65 vills to Shelty's 58. Shelty actually isn't as far behind in vills as I thought he'd be, but that I guess he did kill like 10 villagers here. And yes, Deagle Doug. YouTube chat is a little bit delayed. I apologize.
These frost giants are going to do a lot of damage here.
They will. There's only 2 priests, and we have a frost coming in. I'd like to see Shelty wall behind it.
Yeah. Throw up a hill for it, too.
I don't... What do you have time for all that? Oh, he's going to grab a town center. I think. I don't know what he's going to do. Okay, he's grabbing a town center.
I don't like that. I think that if you're going to frost the army...
You kill it?
Then yeah, exactly. And now you're not really accomplishing either thing.
He can't even... The villagers, he can't even build it. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, these slingers are killing a ton of these throwing axemen up here on the front. And the villagers are killing the raiding cavalry. And now the frost is done, but this army is still all here. I mean, we do have the 4 frost giants. 2 priests. And Electra bullets coming in.
Oh, that what a useless upgrade.
Oh, we've got upgraded frost giants. Plus 198 hit points.
They've got their party hats.
They do. And these frost giants with 2 priests, now 1. Well, they keep funneling in. But, I mean, these priests, this is, again, where you're just tickling. The priest is doing, like, 9 damage a shot. But we have the Pharaoh in here. But, yeah, look at... It's basically just frost giants here. And they're doing so much damage. Got to kill the Pharaoh. He does damage. But these priests are just... They might as... You almost might as well not make them. Yeah. Pharaoh is throwing... The Pharaoh is actually shooting at the raiding cavalry. But, wow. Oh, here come Electrum bullets that just got researched. So that'll come in big here. Pharaoh's down. Oh, man. Kimo is just funneling units into their doom here. Ooh.
I like that Shelty switched to Ulfsarks again.
Yeah. Wow, that fight there, like, just vaulted Shelty way into the lead. That was terrible to keep on fight. Like, as soon as Frost is done, I think you just run out of there.
Yeah, now he's going in a little too far here.
Yeah, Shelty probably should have grabbed that town center and just that back a little bit, because now he doesn't have units to kill anything. And I mean, I guess he's got the frost giants, but they still live forever, though.
Oh
man,
damn. Yeah, remember last game when I said, "Oh wow, battle boars are good. Maybe I'll go braggy more often." Yeah,
you're back to Scotty now. Yeah, like really, this second fight here, like Shelty had no business winning, like realistically,
yeah.
But he won it just because these frost giants just can't be killed by Egyptian in the classical age. Yeah, with their 69% pierce armor and 798 hit points, they live forever. Now, they are actually at both full pop for villagers. Well, I mean, I guess the dwarves, Shelty could make some more. But man,
this is the kind of game where Rag will do a lot if Shelty can get there.
Yeah, the town center, it's going to go up. Yep,
oh,
town center's up. And now these Ulfsarks can come running in and get on all of these priests. And now Kimo is too far forward. And he's going to lose even more units. And Kimo actually isn't even super close to aging up yet. I mean, he's got the gold, but he's still 500 food away from hitting his heroic age button. Which means these frost giants, which now there's just one. Oh, here comes another one. They're still going to have a long time to play. Because once funeral rites comes in, then all of a sudden the frost giants are kind of obsolete.
Yeah, yeah.
But until then, this fight, this has completely turned the game around to Shelty's favor here. Just this non-stop flood of classical barracks units to their death. And we don't even have medium axemen. But wow. And the funny thing is, as the Frost Giants keep killing units, it's just more favor to make more Frost Giants, which really aren't very expensive. 200 gold and 22 favor. That's not super expensive. What is the kill death ratio? 181 to 129.
I think they might be a little pricey in favor, but yeah, you're right. Like 200 gold is nothing.
Yeah. But my point is though, if you get this avalanche of kills, the 22 favor is like almost pretty cheap.
Yep. Right.
I mean, you're getting 1 favor for every barracks unit that you're killing. So you kill 20 barracks units, and now you're basically got another Frost Giant. And you might not be able to see, but we've got the Reg coming at 45%. So Reg is about 45 seconds away. And if you're Shelty here, do you just insta-Reg? Like, as soon as you hit up, do you just hit the Reg button, or do you try to, like, maybe make some, I don't know, do a little something first?
As long as you're full pop, and maybe if you have a few caravans, but other than that, yeah, he should rag as soon as he can, because he doesn't want to give Kimo too much time to prepare.
Oh, and Kimo's going up Sekhmet. I don't know if that's where he wants to go here against these Frost Giants.
He's probably anticipating rag though. Like, he's probably thinking Ancestors is totally worthless at this point.
Yeah, but how is he ever going to kill Fire Giants after, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
What kind of eco upgrades we looking at? Just the first line. This is not Kimo here. First line of eco upgrades. Usually he's always got his eco upgrades. Alright, so Baldur is in. I don't know if we're... Okay, yep. Just an instant Baldur.
There we go.
And we only have, what, just 1 ram. But we do have a ton of... How many Reg heroes do we got? He's at 332 pop. I didn't look. He probably had about 85, 90 Reg heroes. And yeah, I think here this is going to be the winning push. I think he's just so far ahead. I don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing Kimo can do at this point, I don't think.
Kimo does have Masons, but only Axemen. Not even medium Axemen, just Axemen. And there's Fortified Town Center 2. Good text coming in at just the right time. But it's still just Axemen. And he has the Electrum bullets, but not the Ta Axemen upgrade.
Yeah, those electric bullets don't really do anything against Rag heroes.
Here comes a few down here, and the Rag heroes are just overrunning this base. And you have the Fire Giant that for some reason did decide to come all the way forward and tank all these priests. So I guess Fire Giant's down, but so is the forward base. And Shelty is coming on down to the side town center here. And I think here Shelty could then just move. He'd probably be able to just actually take this over too. Yeah, it is. It is a highway. It's just a highway of Rag heroes just straight into the base. There is no speed limit. Just full on in. All express lanes. And oh, now we've got it. What is it? The Scalloped Axe? Yeah. And we do now have Guard Tower. So I guess this is the last chance here for Kimo. Can all of these upgraded buildings, along with the Citadel with 5,000 hit points, can it survive? Shelty does.
I'm gonna bet no.
I'm gonna think no too. Here come the village. I think the villagers are coming in to try to reinforce. And the thing is too, Shelty does have food and gold in the bank, and now we see this full-on fight here. Start to hear a lot of villagers dying. But I mean, the villagers are tanking a ton of damage, which is slowing down the reg on the buildings. But I think there's just nothing. There's just not enough. There's no army, and that is it.
GG.
GG. Well played. Well, Shelty is not going to be swept out of the playoffs. And I think this was a game where Kimo could have won. But after that frost, Kimo kind of just played into the I'll just throw away unit after unit after unit. And it ended up being about a 287 to 189 kill death ratio. Which,
yeah, I would say that, you know, barracks units as Egyptian have their use, and I would say that they're more for securing resources and for securing positions, and they're not really meant to push with.
Mm-hmm.
And Kimo kept going a little too far in.
Yeah.
To Shelty's side of the map. Like when Shelty frosted Kimo's army was like way too far onto his side of the map.
The other thing I'm looking at like this resource is why is Kimo so far behind in economy when he's at 2 town centers 3.5 minutes ahead and ahead in villagers, but why? It seemed like his eco wasn't quite what it normally was. Like I checked as he was aging up, and he didn't even have any of the second line eco upgrades. So I think, I don't know, it seemed like his economy was a little bit behind. But we'll move on to game number 4 here before it gets too late. Now I will remind you guys, I do always get 5 recorded games for every series. There may not be 5 games. Like, Ooh, Midgard. Thor versus Oasis.
Definitely a Thor map. I think Oasis is pretty good on this map too, but I love playing Thor on this map.
Really? I would have.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, again, it goes back to the Mirage game, which I will admit Shelty lost, but
he shouldn't have. That should have been a win. Shelty should be ahead 2-1 here.
When you're Norse and you get a ton of food to play with, that's good news. You know, if you look at Shelty's fish right now, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Kimo's is good too, though.
So if you can, you know, let's say you get 15 fish, and then you give Isis 15 fish, I'll take that all day as Norse, because you can use that food a lot better than Isis can.
Yeah, Isis, I mean, what do you do with Isis with that food? Do you make elephants? But then if you go Braggy, then your Braggy will start kind of pound the I don't know. I always thought, I guess on Midgard, I always kind of considered it still to be a pretty good Isis map because of the Ancestors Eclipse free map control kind of a deal. But
yeah, it's good for both gods. I just think that of all the maps, it's like, and plus the other thing is Thor is really good at going 2 docks quickly here, whereas Odin or like Loki can't really do that, but Thor, if you're smart, you know, you build 2 docks immediately, and then you have like 40 pop by 5 minutes as Thor. It's actually kind of crazy how much pop Thor can get within the first few minutes.
I think Shelty is Shelty a little slow in getting his second dock up. He's floating 200 resource, 200 wood right now.
Yeah.
And he's building a house first before he's building a dock. Now he's building a dock, which actually is in a pretty bad spot. One thing I've noticed, so with the recent patch update, well, recent, whatever 5.0 came out, which what, the beginning of the year, so maybe 4 months ago. It did change the maps. One thing I've noticed for Midgard is that you don't get any 3-packs of fish on the like corners of where you're, you know, because it looks like the 3-packs is kind of all, it almost stops right here down the line. I'd kind of like to see these fish just to make it the game a little bit more aggressive, because typically it kind of defense is better for Midgard, so you should probably award the player that's a little more aggressive and is taking control of like the corners. But like this corner is, I mean, what's the fight over here? There's kind of nothing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So bad dock placement in the end. Now I do this as Egyptian. I don't know, would you, if you do this also as Norse, but would you send a fish to scout first before you put your second dock down?
I don't do that as Norse. I would do that as Egyptian, but I think it's as Norse. I usually just send my fishing ship to gather.
Okay, and maybe just not build in the corner here. I don't know. I mean, I guess this might be something. Maybe it's just this map spawn, but I think it's something I have noticed that it kind of isn't so many here fish before. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I think you're right. I was gonna say that I try to keep my Ulfsark as close to the water as I can, so that as it's going across the map, it's trying to pick up those 3 fish. And I'm not sure he did that with his Ulfsark. He may have.
It looks like he might have here. I think he did. It's just
okay.
The fish pack here. It actually, what happened is that the majority of Shelty's fish are down this way. He's got 3 packs of 3 fish on this side, and then just 1 3 fish up here. But yeah, it's a Deagle Doug. I like that name, Deagle Doug. He wants to know, what is the approach to these middle town centers? As a Thor, I guess. Because I think the Oasis, it's a little bit easier to get a town center because of Ancestor's Eclipse. But as the Thor here, did you try to build a forward town center early? Or do you, what do you do here?
You secure your fish first, I think. You know, I don't think you try to overdo the water, but I think you definitely need to build some ships on both sides. That way you don't get overrun by Kimo here. Because the really annoying thing on this map playing against Egyptian is that Egyptian ships get I think it's a 30% bonus against fishing ships.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but yeah, something.
Yeah, but it's really annoying. So you can get raided pretty hard if you don't have the numbers on water. But yeah, I mean, the thing I would do here as Thor is definitely grab one of the, like, what if it's the forward town center or the back town center as quickly as you can, because what you can actually do on this map is it's almost like a free rag. Like if you can, you know, get a second town center and then play for a rag with all that food you have, even if you do eventually lose water, you're still going to be able to have the resources to advance.
Yeah. See, not good to get your priest picked off like this. It's kind of an important little unit there. But what I would say, though, also, if you grab that forward town center, what happens then if the Isis does like a semi-quick heroic and then just Migdals and then a couple elephants and Ancestor's Eclipse? Are you still okay as the Thor?
Yeah, I think you're okay. I think that actually Thor can get heroic pretty quickly himself, even off 2 town centers. So I think that going Scotty or something to just kind of hedge against some kind of 1 TC push. Plus, you kind of know with like Kimo's playstyle, he's probably not going to go for some kind of like crazy all in.
Yeah. This is a nice forest fire here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's netted a kill yet, but There's 3 vills almost. He's trying to get on. I don't know. Those 3 vills are so close. They're still idle, though. I mean, this is a ton of idle time. The Sphinx tried to drag it into the last.
Oh,
okay.
nice.
Oh, it's going to be close. Who wins? Oh,
Oh.
the Valk survives. 8 hit points left. Oh, that was fun. So the Valk wins, 8 hit points. We've got a little bit. Yeah, okay, so it's kind of like a little bit of a fighting here up at the top with the Norse longboats against the Cabennets. Now it looks like Kimo has more Cabennets, so both players though are kind of going towards a semi-quick heroic. We've got Shelty with 700 food and just 80 gold though. Would like to see probably him more gold. He doesn't have pickaxe. Would you have pickaxe, do you think? Should you have it?
Oh, yeah. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, so no pickaxe and not researching it. And that's probably why he's only got 200 gold right now and isn't able to get enough to age up. We do have some 4 more longboats coming in over around the bottom by Shelty. So Shelty's got boats on both sides. And it looks like Kimo kind of stopped with the Cabinet production as both players are looking to age up here pretty soon.
Yeah, the thing here too, as Norse, is that you can't really... I shouldn't say you can't, but it's really hard to just outright win water on this map because the dock positions are really good for Egyptian. Like, they can just defend, but what you want to do is you just want to play water for even. As long as it's kind of a stalemate on water, then that's, I would say, really good news for Norse.
Yeah. And both players basically aging up at the same time. Shelty could have been a little bit sooner, but no, I think no pickaxe is going to hurt him quite a bit. He still doesn't have it. And he's got plenty of resources like to get it. He's got 500 wood in the bank. So maybe he forgot or thinks he has it. And yeah, Norse, he's been housed too for a little bit. It's like watching me play Norse. But now, would you make this many boats? Do you think this is normal for this many boats to be made by both players? So it looks like both have made about 15 boats.
Yeah, I agree with you that it seems like it's actually more than what you typically see on Midgard. You usually see players make, like, I would say 10 or less, actually. Yeah. And then they're also, like, both players are pretty aggressive, or I should say Shelty more so is aggressive, where he's kind of like going into this corner here and really pushing Kimo to, or he's forcing Kimo to use resources on these ships.
And nice fight here by Shelty too. He picked off quite a few Bennett's having a pop advantage there. Now both are aged up. So Kimo's grabbing a town center. Yay or nay?
Yeah, yay. I mean, he's not being pushed on land, and he knows that Shelty's not up yet. So I think, or he wasn't when he made the decision to grab the town center. So yeah, I say grab the town center while you can. Plus, it secures that gold mine, so you might as well.
Got the Leviathan. The Leviathan is kind of a unit that doesn't get a lot of recognition, but it's a pretty important myth unit, especially when it's combined. Like, the Leviathan means more in Anatolia because you're typically doing maybe an earlier Ancestors Eclipse, which Eclipse makes the Leviathan fantastic. But even without, Leviathan is so good. It just kind of needs a micro it though. Oh man. Well, that's a pretty big prosperity here. Tons of villagers, second line upgrade already. And there's pickaxe and hand axe. And this is what I'm looking at the tech list here. This is what is kind of Kimo's, I guess, of his claim to fame is always ecotechs. Like right now, he is researching the 3rd wood upgrade, the 3rd gold upgrade, and the 2nd fishing ship upgrade. And that's before making a single land military unit. Now we do have a squad of raiding cavalry up here, but that's kind of pretty standard for Kimo. Is eco first, and obviously that works when you're playing Egyptian. As Shelty is now kind of passing on all the eco upgrades and making army instead. Which I guess...
Well, he certainly proved it works. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean...
Proof is in the pudding.
Yeah. And the one thing is, I mean, no matter how many eco upgrades you have, if your villagers are idle, it doesn't matter. We've got this Scorpion Man here. Would like to get this Frost Giant on it. The Scorpion got to be careful if you're Kimo. That... Soon... Oh no, he forgot about it. Oh, wait!
Oh,
Whoa!
No.
Trap it! What are they doing? Oh man, this is so frustrating.
That's the luckiest Scorpion Man I've ever seen.
It is. Oh man.
There we go.
Finally! Jeez! And Kimo does have Ancestors Eclipse. We also have a Frost from Shelty. And the Scorpion Man is down. That's a big catch. Because again, an Eclipse Scorpion Man is so strong. And the Pharaoh needs to garrison here. Okay, there he goes. You think Shelty?
Check the bottom. Check like 4 o'clock here. The water. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Not much. Not much.
No, it's not going to go anywhere. This Leviathan will probably die pretty quick. But Ready Cavalry still playing here, but maybe stuck around a little too long, I think. They lost like half of them, and the other half are about dead. And yeah, nothing's going to happen here. We've got a few dragon ships getting trained. And we have Salt Amphora for Kimo, and not for Shelty. So far, Shelty... consistently behind in eco upgrades. Does have the 2nd line of gold. Are we going to see Ancestors Eclipse get used pretty quick here?
You know, the longer the game goes on, the less value it has, especially against Rag.
Oh no!
Are
we going to see the Eclipse without Ancestors here? Yes!
Yeah.
Oh no! You Ancestors this, and it's down. Because the villagers can get on the siege towers here. And we have the raiding cavalry coming around back, and oh man, this is a huge throw.
Ouch.
Oh wow. I mean, if this happens to me, it's almost like I just press the resign button. Because that ruined all of this. Oh man. Because, yeah, Ancestors gets used here, and I think it's pretty clear that the town center's down and Kimo's winning the fight. Instead, the town center's up. 3 towers thrown away for nothing, and the army getting repelled here. Now, Kimo might kind of eventually win this, but, like, I mean, hold this, but that's a huge... Oh, man, that's big.
What you have to do now is use Ancestors separately from your army. That way, Shelty can't frost everything.
Yeah. And Ancestors without Eclipse aren't very good. So here is what you said. We have the Ancestors used up here. Do we have 3 Herseer, though? And nothing from Shelty to kill the Herseer. So I don't think that's gonna accomplish what he wants. And yeah, that's a huge blunder as an Isis. I mean, that Ancestors Eclipse is like so integral for your power spike, and without the power spike, Just another underpowered Egyptian.
I wonder if he was so afraid
Of Frost?
that Shelty was like sitting on the Frost power. I wonder if he just tried to, cast it too quickly.
And the hill fort, I guess the hill fort does go down, and Kimo's able to hold this. And actually, despite all of that, the score line is still pretty close, so the game certainly isn't over. And I think what kept or is keeping Kimo in the game is a difference in economy technologies. Because again, Kimo is full upgrades on economy. And also has Salt Amphora. And okay, we do now have Salt Amphora. But yeah, Kimo is down villagers and fishing ships. While all that was happening, we did have quite a bit of, I guess, fishing ship raids. And Frost Giant freezes the siege tower. And Frost Giants will probably block this town center. And things aren't looking good for Kimo.
Yeah, things are not looking good. You're right. Oh, now we see the Frost.
Yeah, and I think if you're Shelty here, you can just run up here and probably maybe build the town center or most of it. Well, I guess it's almost full HP. I don't know. And Shelty does have to be careful though, that he doesn't lose this. I mean, we've got enough villagers and not much of an army from Kimo. So, should be able to hold this, but it will be a lot of idle villager time. And meanwhile up here, just kind of... I'd kind of like to see him get this town center hit points down. There we go, there we go. And...
Oh...
I think the town center is going to go down. We'll need one more hit. Yeah, it's going down.
Yeah.
I don't know if that should have happened. And all of these villagers. Ooh. And that's because Shelty didn't repair the town center. I mean, the town center was at half hit points coming up into that. And wow, that's not good. And yes, units under Frost do have 99% defense. That does not count Frost Giant Frost, though. That's just normal.
Right.
I mean, okay, so Shelty does stop this town center being grabbed, but he should not have lost this town center down here. I mean, in the end... I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No. Well, what I was going to say is now we do have the Ragnarok here, which I missed the Rag upgrade, but we do have Osiris 14%. One thing I was thinking, though, this Frost basically just canceled out because after using Frost, Shelty sent his army up here to stop this town center, and during that same time period, Shelty lost his own town center. So I don't know if the Frost, with the way it ended up, was actually a benefit. But we have the Heroes of Rag coming with bronze or copper, and then second Pierce upgrade. And the problem is, I don't know, with the way Midgard is situated, I don't know if Kimo's going to be able to hold this.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Kimo.
Now, Shelty did... Shelty, I believe, did see this gold mine and just walked right past it. Which, that could be big. And now you have... There's always a feels bad moment when I'm like an Egyptian player facing a Ragnarok that I didn't quite to expect come, and I all of a sudden realize I have like 4 siege towers that are now useless. Like, what is you can't do anything with them, and that's so many resources. And we have heavy spearmen. Where are the axemen? They're trying to be trained. I don't know what kind of upgrade we got on the heavy spearmen. We do have a guard tower getting researched, so that's upgraded. We don't have masons. Coming in on the Migdal up here, we have Osiris. And probably see Osiris getting cast. You know, missing this gold mine, or not noticing it, could be big, but Shelty's got economy banked. He's got 2,000 food, 600 wood, and 800 gold. So if Shelty goes down, if the reg doesn't quite push through, he's got plenty of food to redo what he wants. And this mummy does... Oh, did she get the fire giant? Oh, wow. She did. That was like... That was edge of range there. I didn't think it'd come in.
That was like a sniper move.
Yeah. Must have been just on the edge. We see the Migdal going down. But Osiris and the villagers will be able to hold this. But Shelty did grab this town center down in the bottom. And temple tower down. Ray getting pushed off. I don't think... Shelty's basically back to 160 pop now. But given that he has all of his fish, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I agree. Unlike the last few games, he's got all the resources he needs.
Oh,
there we go.
He realized that there was a mining camp here that he'd scouted. And now they show up, and this is going to be not any good for Kimo. Really bad. And oh, the Son of Osiris is in a bit of a precarious spot here. Oh, he got path blocked. Oh, no. He's got to try to finish. Oh, here come more reg heroes coming in. I think it's... oh, no. Oh, I could see Kimo probably was thinking he needed to get this town center up, but that got his Osiris out of position. He's getting trapped again. And Osiris is going to go down.
Ouch.
And that's a huge part of the Isis power. And Shelty is at now 140 or 160 pop, but I mean he can replenish pretty easily. And the reg heroes are all over this army. And these villagers are... It's been a complete massacre down here. Oh no. And that here, I think, probably sealed the game for Kimo, who is now at 68 population. Kimo right now has 42 villagers, counting fishing ships, and he's just losing a few more. He's down to 24. Where's he losing villagers at? Phew. 20 villagers he's down to now.
Ouch.
Oh, well, I think we're going to a game 5.
You know, it's really too bad that that Kimo miscast Ancestors Eclipse. I mean, you know, like I was saying earlier, it could be because he was under pressure.
Yeah.
But, oh well. Because, you know, we all make mistakes.
Yeah. Because I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, but if Kimo Ancestors Eclipse there, like what percentage of win does he have? Like I'm saying, it's like if he Ancestors Eclipse, he's probably like a 70% win, I think, maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
And missing that probably made it 40% chance for him, and then just wasn't quite... I think Kimo probably could have held this maybe a little bit better. Like, he wasn't... I didn't seem like he was quite prepared to see the reg so soon. Because he didn't have Axemen out at all. And by the time they come out is by the time everything else is dead. But wow. Game 5. Well, it is great to see a semifinals go to a 5th game. Man. You and me both are staying up way too late for this stupid 18-year-old video game.
Man, this is, you know, like I was saying, there's no place I'd rather be on a Saturday night. Except, you know what, I revised that. It's 1:30 in the morning, so probably bed. But
all right, well, you're going to stick it out for Game 5? You kind of got to at this point. It's kind of like Game of Thrones. After you watch the first 6 seasons, you gotta watch the 7th. You're just too invested.
That show, man, that show ended for me. I forgot season 7 and 8 existed.
And now is Game 5 gonna be the season 7 and 8? Let's see. Odin. We've switched from Odin, or from Thor to Odin. on Oasis versus Ra. This is the first Ra showing? No. There was a Ra on Mirage had Ra. Odin versus Ra on Oasis. Ooh. Now, I will note, before we start having people put in, like, oh, bad luck. These maps are all preset. All 5 games are preset, like, a week ahead of time. So, the players all know what maps are coming. So, it's not like it's a big surprise or bad luck, like I'm going Odin hoping to get Marsh, and it ends up being as Oasis. So, this is a recorded game. This is not live. So, if you know the result, shh, quiet.
I will say I'm surprised because Shelty can play a lot of gods. And I'm surprised he decided, knowing that the map was going to be Oasis, I'm surprised he stuck with Norse and didn't try to go, you know, Atlantean maybe, or Egyptian himself. I'm surprised he stuck with, you know, I'm not saying Odin's bad on this map, but he's not as good as Oranos.
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't pick Egyptian against Kimo because I don't know if there's anybody that could really match up Egypt with Kimo. But I think, oh, look at these giraffes. Well, Kimo's never going to get these giraffes. But I think you could maybe make an argument for like an Oranos here.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm also noting is that, so Oasis is always low hunt, but this is low hunt, because the second hunt pack here is only 2 giraffe. You could have like as many as 4, or I think 4, and then a couple of gazelle too. So this is about the lowest hunt Oasis you can get. Like it was, I think, just 3 starting zebra, I think. And that's pretty low. 2 is the lowest. And I don't think...
Scouts them out. He scouts the drafts at just the right time, I think.
Yeah, he did. Now he noticed that they're there. It took him a little bit to notice. And no great hunt yet, which... Oof. Is he going to great hunt the giraffe or great hunt the goats? I guess he's great hunting the goats. Now, he only made... Against a Ra, he only made 1 Ulsark. Would you still make 2 as the Norse here?
Definitely, because that's your main food source on this map, and you know that Ra's not going to get a lot of goats because they're going to keep their heroes pretty close to the base. Well, he's only going to scout with his pharaoh.
Yeah,
but
that's a lot of scouting.
Yep.
Yeah, so. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was wondering if maybe you wouldn't be you'd assume the Ra wouldn't be scouting, so you'd kind of figure you'd get the goats anyway. But yeah, how many goats does he? He only has 4 goats. Like, I hate to say it, but just the way this game, just kind of the starting low hunt spawn and the goat numbers, it's looking pretty tough for Shelty here.
Yeah.
How in the world is he going to match the 2-town center fast heroic?
The other thing on this map too is the positioning of the force. So we see that there are 2 giant circles of force between the 2 bases, rather than sometimes you'll get like you'll get the 4-wood spawn where there's a direct path between bases, and that doesn't exist in this map, which basically means that it allows Kimo to boom as much as he wants, because as Norse you can't really switch from each side of the map very easily.
Yeah. And Kimo does have Kimo's got a really good bottom gold mine. His top one is a little bit further forward, but yeah, it would be hard if you're going for that early gold mine starve. It would be hard for you to block both, because yeah, if you're going to block this one and Kimo moves up here, Well, then you gotta run all the way around to get to that. And it is true, too, as Sigma's pointing out in chat. Another thing, nice wall here. I like this wall.
Whoa, nice wall.
But another thing that does also come into play here is where the player bases are in relation to the forest. Because what theoretically you could see is you could see the player spawning down here and up here. And then it's pretty wide open in front of their base. But yeah, instead we got the corner spawn, which means it's really safe. Now, this wall is great as long as Shelty can finish it. Ulfsarks don't exactly build walls super fast.
And that's gold you're not using for a town center too. I mean, it's a cool little, you know, it's like a kind of a gimmick or whatever, but it's not. It's also preventing you from doing what you want.
Now, he did great hunt as goats, which resulted in him having 14. And Kimo, I think, ended up with 6, as I recall earlier. And oh no.
Could get a good forest fire in.
Yeah, but he has no idea they're there, so he can't.
Yeah.
And,
oh.
Kimo spotted? No. Interesting. Wonder what made him turn around. He's deciding to go to the bottom one. Huh. Rather interesting to just switch around without. I don't think he had line of sight of it. I wonder if he knew because of where he clicked. I bet Kimo clicked here and noticed that his villagers were running up here and then assumed or knew properly that it was walled off.
Yeah.
I bet that's what happened, which that's actually pretty good to pay attention to that because that's not a crazy pathing difference running up here, but he must have noticed that because it would make a difference. Like if your villagers are here and you click here and they move up here, you know it's walled off. So good to move down there, though he would have built this town center anyway because the wall wasn't done yet.
I think this is better for Kimo in the long run anyway, because it secures that second gold mine. Yeah. Whereas the other town center didn't do that for you.
Yeah. No, I agree. I actually... The problem is I don't think Shelty would have been able to wall this side of the map off. I think it was too much and too close. And he does grab a town center. Now... We didn't quite talk about this, so you're looking at he's trying to shift all the goats away. Shelty should notice this and should start running these goats. He needs to run the goats. Oh, he's not running the goats. Oh no, this could be. Oh, now he's running. Oh, that was still 4 goats. It could have been worse, but that's still. Yes, that still shouldn't happen. I mean, my opinion here is that the Ra probably shouldn't be able to shift goats like that unless he sends like his Pharaoh forward. Like I think a Wadget shifting goats should probably not ever happen.
Yeah.
But that that's big.
You know, one thing I've noticed from Shelty, just generally these last 4 games, is that he doesn't really like hill forts.
Yeah, he hasn't built any?
I don't think so. I don't know why.
Well, he's 2-2. I mean, he did make him to game 5.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not a criticism. I'm just noticing it's a stylistic choice.
Yeah, it is. You're right. It's interesting. We do have a decent relic here, the Thundercloud Shaw, which makes fight as 5% pierce vulnerability. That's nice. But what I was going to ask before we kind of got sidetracked there by the goats and the hill fort is, as an Odin into a Ra here, how do you win?
It's a really good question on this map. It's hard. It's hard. You got to push on that second town center somehow with like some kind of some kind of big ballsy all in, I don't know, hill fort, maybe with some rams, and then go, just move in with frost or something and hope for the best.
So then I guess my follow-up question is, if it's really hard, why pick Odin?
Yeah, I don't have an answer. I would say here I don't think I would take this third town center. I think I would go for heroic and use these resources to push Kimo's second town center, because the more you make this into like a 3 town center against 3 town center thing, it's just gonna it's gonna turn against you, because Egyptian, as the game goes on, it's just gonna be better and better. You gotta somehow punish Kimo earlier.
Yeah. I think Shelty's trying for maybe a big rag. Is kind of my only guess here. I mean, that's kind of what he's used to win his 2 games, so maybe he's thinking that's his only hope. The problem is, I don't think he has enough goats, which he's already out of, to support that.
Right.
And the wall is down, and now we have Kimo grabbing the third town center here. He's building an armory, so it looks like he's going to try to get heroic now. But with 3 town centers producing, I guess 2 are making dwarves. The food income is going to be really slow. So Nyan thinks that Shelty was probably going to do semi-fast heroic with probably 2 town centers, but then the goat steal made him change his mind.
Yeah, probably.
Because then he didn't really have the food source to be able to do it. And we see Kimo again. We're talking about Ecotech's last game. He already has quarry.
Wow.
At 1050. And 3 town centers. Not a whole lot of fighting. We're starting to see the Migdal units come out, but I think when you're the Egyptian here and you see 3 town centers by the Norse, why not get all your eco upgrades? Because you know there's not an attack coming, and we see the second farm upgrade coming too.
It must be really like if Shelty loses this game, he's got to be kicking himself, because that Mirage game was so winnable, and knowing that Oasis. Just knowing that Oasis is the 5th game, you gotta think to yourself, well, I really need to win this series in the first 4 games, because I'm probably not beating Kimo's Raw on Oasis.
Yeah. And he should have won it. But yeah, I think just this opening game here, I mean, I think something magical as he's throwing away Olsarks now. Something magical is going to happen for Shelty to win. Like right now, his 3 barracks here are kind of in the wrong spot. I mean, we had 3 throwing axemen that just got trained that they're getting chopped down. We do have Shelty up with Frost, but 60 vills to 68, and no food in the bank. And we've got a completely unprotected gold mine up here, but we've got, oh man, the croc drop up here on the top, and we still do have a locust. And yeah, Shelty just has no army. And the frost giant gonna try to get it. Ooh, Kimo usually pays a little better attention than that. So the croc will go down. I think you can if you're fast enough. I think you can garrison right after the frost is done here. I think there's just a little space of time, but it's going to go down anyway, I guess. Yeah, he would have been able to. But yeah, I don't know what you can do here as Shelty, I think your only chance is like a panic rag that somehow Kimo doesn't do anything about. And we can see Kimo, looks like he's trying to come through the middle to go raid, and now he's realized there's a wall there. And we see the walls are already coming up. And a raid here, every dwarf killed is one fewer rag, and we've got the rock. This is really good actually to rock drop over the wall, because now what we're gonna see is some raiding camels and a locust.
Yep.
Well, now they're now they're just running to the other side of the wall.
Yeah, what the heck?
He's gonna put him in the rock again. Or something. I don't know what he's doing. Yep. They're going back in.
Yeah, this is pretty unfortunate. Oh my god. This is hilarious.
There they go. One gets pecked off by the frost giant. And now they're coming. We're gonna probably see a locust. Shelty's done a decent job of splitting his miners. And looks like we're anticipating. Oh no. Not terrible.
Ouch.
4 dead, but again, that's a lot of idle time, and Shelty has no resources in the bank. So that's tough.
This is sad. Like this is kind of sad because really, like, you know, there are probably things that Shelty could have done better this game, but it's really no fault to his own. Like this matchup is like if Shelty, like probably Shelty's biggest mistake was just picking Odin in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, if it were a little bit higher hunt, it would have been maybe a little bit decent, you know, because this was about the lowest Oasis hunt that you could have seen. But I'd say really the only mistake he's made was not killing that Wadget or letting his goats get shifted, which was significant. But yeah, it's not like, it's just you have to play such a good game to win this matchup, which kind of why we set this tournament up this way. Me and Boy, we don't like going into random map where you can just get bad luck and now, oh shoot, well, I picked Odin and it ended up Oasis. I'm screwed. He knew Oasis was coming, so could have picked something else, and Shelty could play other things. And during this time, we do have Kimo. He's up Osiris, and Kimo is just just setting up the great defenses here, making Fort Kimo as we see a Frost to get the Osiris. Needs to get the throwing axeman on the Osiris too. Now, I don't know if he quite has enough damage here to kill Osiris during Frost. We'll see. It's going to be close. He's at 350 hit points with 30 seconds left. So, one hit, a throw. Down to 220 hit points. He will go. I think he will go down. Yeah, he's going to go down. So, would you say this Frost is worth it?
Yeah, I'd say so. At this point, you're probably not getting much better value from it.
Now we do have Baldur up as well, which I think Shelty did well to get Baldur actually as quick as he did. I feel like Kimo probably could have closed this game out in Heroic Age if he would have just kind of attacked normal. But like it was pretty clear that Kimo's full plan was just to do some raiding and then just prep for Reg. Like right now he's already got Ballista Tower.
Oof.
So the Reg can't come through here. He's got 3 sets of walls up here. So the Reg isn't coming up here. And so there's not a whole lot of room for this reg to come through. So Kimo can probably just play this really safe and, like, I don't know, build a Wonder or a Titan and just be able to win that way. So I think what's going to happen here is that Kimo's way ahead, but the game is going to kind of just meander along for a while.
Hey, it's only 1:47 in the morning. Well, I guess it's 12:47 for you.
Yeah, that's still way too late for me because I'm gonna have a kid waking me up at 7. But that's all right. You only live once, and I use that to refer to me streaming Age of Mythology in the middle of the night. What a wild man!
Hey, hill forts.
We do have hill forts. They're making a ballista. So I'm thinking Shelty realizes that his Ragnarok would just be useless. So he's probably just gonna not do a reg, as we're now seeing the 4th set of walls being built up here. You know what's funny though? Is that there's still forest fire. So theoretically, Shelty could just walk right through this.
Oh, yeah.
Like right here, forest fire this, and Shelty can get 4 to 2 town centers with a reg. No, if you use forest fire here, forest fire will burn like this much. Yeah, if you cast forest fire here, it'll get all of this. It'll stop about here.
You know that this wood line makes me think of that old game where I think it was Dean built a Wonder in the middle of the
Yes,
the
it was Dean. Yes, he did.
What a legend! What a legend! That would never happen these days because people just like aren't that dumb.
Yeah. Hey, what are you saying about us, the old school players? But yeah, that was pretty dumb. If you're wondering what we're talking about, is one time long ago, there was, I forget who Dean played. But anyway, Thor, or Norse versus Egyptian. The Norse used Ragnarok. Basically wiped the Egyptian off of the map, but the Egyptian had 2 things. He had a rock and a bunch of villagers and resources. So that the Egyptian built a Wonder in here, and then he also had a rock with 5 catapults. And rather than the Norse, like, deleting reg so he had population, he just ran around it like 200. He ran around it with like 220 of 160 pop. And then the rocks just killed every single town center. And then he had no resources to, like, rebuild stuff, and he just resigned.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was... Yeah, right. He, like, didn't learn his lesson for, like, 25 minutes.
That was it. But, you know, now Kimo's playing this, like, really safe. And Omega Licious, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. Does this, the way that Kimo's playing, like, is this giving Shelty a chance to win? Or is there still kind of the inevitable, it's not going to work?
I don't really know if you can push any harder than Kimo's pushing right now.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, Kimo did all of this. All of his building upgrades. But then doesn't have, like, upgraded catapults. He doesn't have all of his line upgrades.
Yeah, at this point, if you're Kimo and you want to end the game as quickly as possible, I would just go Titan.
Yeah, that's, I think, because that would force out the Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And even say hypothetically, which would be possible, say the Reg comes in and kills the Titan, then you force Reg and the Reg will be done. And then even if Shelty builds his own Titan, you have the rock and you could just rock drop it. So, yeah, that's what I think I would do. I mean, I probably wouldn't be playing like this. I wouldn't be playing this style anyway, but if I happen to, like, stumble into this, game, that's what I would do. I mean, Kimo has 70 favor, so that's what I would do.
Oh, you would have Merc spammed your way to victory.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Question: does 100 Heroes of Ragnarok stand against a Titan? I would say they would kill it, depending on how you manage your heroes. So, while we kind of just have this muddling around, what I'm talking about. So a lot of times you'll see Norse players who have used Ragnarok fighting a Titan. They'll like send like 40 Ragnarok, 50 Ragnarok into the Titan, and only like 15 of them will be able to attack at one time. But the problem is the Titan splash damage area is so large, he'll be dealing damage to all 50 of the Ragnarok. So if you properly do it, I think 100 Rag would kill a Titan. But normally you see the players like sending in all their Rag and then they all getting damaged while they're not doing any damage. So long answer short, yes, but no. Or no, but yes. What do we have for upgrade? Ooh, don't have the upgraded caravan. Do have all the eco upgrades for Shelty, but his armory upgrades are not looking super hot. Kimo's got basically all the armory upgrades. Kimo has the last wall upgrade. He does. And
that's it.
That's it. He uses Rag and then just resigns because, yeah, he's not going anywhere. And that is it. GG. And Kimo does win, which was kind of a pretty lackluster game 5, which is too bad. I mean, say it would have been a little better just to have this game first and then have like the other games as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But just the way this game went, the Odin just didn't work out. I think, I mean, hindsight's 2020. Shelty's probably thinking I probably should have just picked Doranos here because the Odin didn't work. And you can cry in the chat that Odin versus Ra is underpowered or weak or can't win on Oasis. I wouldn't say can't. I would say it's hard. I'd say the matchup is not balanced, but that's why the maps are predetermined. So if you willingly go into a matchup against the odds, it's kind of your fault.
Pretty interesting series, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like, there are a couple games that were swung because of a player's like just giant mistake, like the Mirage game, the really weird flaming weapons by Shelty, cost him the game, and then the Midgard game, Kimo just flat missed
Ancestors.
Yeah, just missed Ancestors. That cost him the game. So there was at least 2 games where it really wasn't like it wasn't that one player outplayed the other. It's just that one player made a really big mistake once.
Huge mistake. And this is why. So I didn't actually used to cast a lot of games because I didn't really enjoy it. But now I've kind of to the point where when I play, I usually get frustrated with myself because I know I'm doing bad, but I can't do anything about it. So I've cast more games. And that is one thing that I have noticed. And I think players tend to ignore that aspect of my bad decisions made me lose because players, it's kind of human nature, is people want to blame something else for their problems. So I lost because the map, I lost because of overpowered, I lost because of Ra. But I think it is true that, and it's what I've seen from watching recorded games, is that oftentimes it's not really balance that's really determining a whole lot. It's because of just sometimes what is just some blatant mistakes or just a lot of little mistakes. And obviously here we can see these are 2 of our best players. And I'm not casting shade on these players, but even these best players, we see in this series that each of them made one huge mistake to basically just throw a game completely. And I think when it comes down to is none of the players are really quite as good as they think they are. Which, that's all right.
They're not nearly as good as Chrono. So.
What, is that what you got out of that? Because that's not what I meant at all. You're just mocking me. But but yes, Knight, you are right. It's easy to see when you're playing, when you're playing. It's easy to see when you're casting, but that still doesn't take away from the fact that sometimes it's just mistakes, though. I mean, in that you still can't just blame balance because you're still making mistakes. Even if you don't realize it, you could probably realize it. Like, at least in these two games, the mistakes you can realize is that those two games were obviously a huge just mental error that probably should have... I mean, Kimo's was probably more mechanical. He just missed his ancestors, and Shelty's was just a big mechanical error. But I'm sorry. What were you trying to spit out there, Hells?
Well, I was gonna get into this line of thinking where I think that Shelty proved that aggressive play does work.
Yes.
He did win 2 games, but I would also say that it seems like Kimo kind of understands what this game is at this point a little bit better than Shelty, in the sense that Kimo focuses on grabbing town centers and getting eco upgrades a lot more than Shelty does. And
right.
I think that, unfortunately, and like this isn't really anybody's fault per se, but I think that that's kind of where the game is now for a myriad of reasons. And I think that the fact that Kimo kind of understands that like, the value you get from grabbing a town center earlier and getting eco upgrades matters a lot more than just having units. I think that also impacted the game.
Yeah, one thing
the series
I think would be cool to see would be like maybe town centers costing a little bit more, because I think over time it's kind of been shown that most times you get too much value out of early town centers. And maybe something to... I mean, I guess it's a whole different argument for another time. But I do think that over time, I mean, over the 18 years that Age of Mythology has been played, that it's kind of come to light that town centers are, especially early ones, are probably overall a little too beneficial. Just there's one thing also might help, which I don't think can be changed, is you shouldn't get resources back from your town center if it gets denied. Like, you should lose those resources. But I think with the way it's coded, I don't think that can be changed.
Yeah. That would be good. Or just making town centers a little weaker, too. I mean...
That's also something. Why not have them all be, like, Atlantean, maybe? Or... Yeah.
That way, if you want to take it, fine. But at least give the other player a better chance at taking it down.
Yeah. But Kimo does win as the clock strikes 1. I'm so stupid. But the reason I wanted this is because I'm intending on casting the the other semifinal later today, and I knew there'd be no way I could cast that without finding out the result of this.
So just to finish here before I head off to bed, what's the bracket look like? I know we have Grand Monster, I think, playing Scotty.
Well, this is
in a series, but are these the only 4 players left, or are there more players?
No, these are the only 4 players left. So we've got Kimo versus Shelty. Kimo just beat Shelty, and then the other one is Grand Monster versus Skady.
All right. That'll be a good series.
It will be. Grandmaster dethroned Matrius. Well, not really dethroned, but Matrius was undefeated coming in, and Grandmaster took it to him.
Yeah, well, obviously Matrius is a phenomenal player, and he makes Poseidon look really, really good, but I think right now Odin's just a little bit better.
Yeah, Odin's pretty good. Hey, well, why is my chat doubling up everybody's comments over here? That's cool. All right, yeah. Well, thanks for joining me, Hells. I know it got pretty late there, but this was a nice little kind of change from the normal me solo casting, and it took a little longer than I thought. But we're glad to have 5. Yeah, this was fun. 5-game set. So I'll catch you around. You go to bed, and I will also go to bed. And for all those of you who watched and took along, thanks for the company. So take care, everybody. I'll catch y'all another time. Get enough sleep because I'm not.
All right. Good night, fellas.
See ya, Els.